The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, a Halloween edition, a spooky version of the Week 9 Spread Picks Preview. Free money teasers at the end. Sometimes they even cash. You're only down like 60% of your money now on the free money teasers. Do you want to let everyone know? Give the episode a like. Leave your Draftkings handle in the comment section. And if you want to get in the draw for $20, after doing those two things, tell me who you think is going to be the highest scoring team of Week 9. Any game. Could be Thursday. Probably not going to be Thursday. Could be Monday. Probably not going to be Monday. Probably Sunday night. Either late afternoon, Sunday night. That's probably where you're looking at if you want to find the highest scoring team of the week. I also want to let everyone know, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. Smash that like button. It goes a long way. However, if you're not subscribed to the audio podcast, whether it be on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Podbean, wherever it may be, we're in the quest for 10 million listens/downloads for the year. Need us to get there. We need some new subscribers, some fresh blood to come in. So even if you don't listen to it, just download it. Subscribe to it. Automatically download it. You don't need to listen. You can just delete it right away. Still works for me. It counts as a download. What do you think about that, Geoff? Did you know that many people listened?
I still didn't get the memo about Costume Day.
That's too bad.
I got a pair of game-worn Jacques Césaire pants. Could have busted out for you.
No one would be able to see it.
Oh, fair enough. Anyways, big, 10 million. You'll get there.
I hope so. Not currently on pace to get to 10 million. So the reviews really help too. Like if you're on iTunes, you haven't left a review, it takes like 10 seconds. Leave a review. And then like more people find it. It goes up the charts. But I've been around so long that I don't get a lot of credit on the charts. New podcasts get all the credit on the charts. Then they just drop off the face of the earth and you never see them again. So this is the Halloween edition of the picks. Hit the description for the picks cheat sheet so you can see all of our picks to follow along with us. Plus all the time codes for the games are down there as well. If you don't want to hear us talk about Detroit, Minnesota, you can jump straight to Houston, Denver, or whatever game tickles your fancy. The third member of the show, coming off a 500 week, getting back on track, in costume as a $2 coin instead of a $1 coin. It is the coin, the arch nemesis of Tim under Cust.
Tim under Cust.
That is not my name.
It is your arch nemesis.
I seem to have a lot of arch nemesis these days.
Well, you're constantly triggered.
No, it's not true.
One person or one inanimate object cannot handle all your rage at one time. There needs to be just it's almost like Batman. He has so many antagonists that it's almost like you. You have so much hatred to go around. You just need a whole cavalcade of your arch nemesis to come at you.
No, I am far less angry and triggered than you think. I'm actually a pretty calm person.
I don't know. I was following your Twitter feed during the Patriots game, and it was just triggered tweet after triggered tweet. You sit at home by yourself, like being angry at the screen.
No, I wasn't angry. You can't tell the tone of my tweets, but I wasn't being angry at all in those tweets.
Then why even make them?
Because I thought they were snarky and funny. And do you have the Cam Newton photo up?
No. Tim's in costume as Cam Newton. Can't believe you played Cam Newton in whiteface, Tim.
Oh my goodness.
People are getting in all trouble for their Halloween costumes. I think Tim is the most offensive here.
Oh, God.
I like that he's smoking a cig at the podium. You can't smoke indoors. Tim, what are you doing?
It just looks like he's from Dallas or something.
Could it be, Tim, are you dressed up as JR?
No, I thought it was like a Kentucky Derby sort of thing, but no, it is more like JR, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you're at a podium for the Carolina Panthers, so I think you're Cam.
Fair.
You're going as one of your arch nemesis, Cam Newton.
Not an arch nemesis. I have nothing against Newton.
You hate Cam Newton.
I don't like him as a player. I think he's disingenuous, but as a person, I'm sure he's a lovely person.
He gets triggered by Cam Newton 24/7. That's what's going on here. All right, you guys want to get into the games, or do you have anything to lead off with here?
Yeah, people can stop tweeting those peacocks at me, please.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. People should definitely tweet pictures of peacocks to Tim. At Tim Anderson 87 Just gifs of peacocks attacking people, the NBC logo with Tim's face photoshopped on it. Doesn't matter what it is.
What about that guy who tried to troll me and got attacked by one?
Yeah, well, sometimes you play with fire. You get the peacock beak.
I'm curious what Tim hands out at his door for Halloween.
Nothing. He turns off his lights and pretends he's not home.
Not true. I give out the stuff I don't like Reese's peanut butter cups.
What do you mean the stuff you don't
Yeah,
like?
we went over.
Stuff you buy.
Tim is like the best house to go to. He gives out all the best candy.
The stuff I don't like, you're the home, like it's your home, so you're buying the stuff.
I buy the stuff to give out that I don't want because I want to get rid of it because I want to keep the good stuff for me, like the candy corn and the raisins and the molasses kits.
Do you understand why I'm a little confused?
Yeah, like why would you buy the actual good stuff to begin with?
The stuff that he perceives as
the stuff that people actually want. Why would you buy that? Because it's so lowly rated on your Halloween list.
And it's probably more expensive than his shitty stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That's because I know a lot of other people, for whatever reason, have bad taste and like it. And, you've got to, as a man of the people, you have to give the people what they want, even if you don't want it.
All right.
Sacrifice I make.
Let's recap the picks from last week. Tim was the big winner. I think we should give a sucker clap. This is very, very tight, but sucker clap. For Tim, you hit a free money teaser.
Oh, yeah.
1 and 7 on the air. Congratulations.
Thank you. And the record, please.
The record, you were 8 and 6. You're up to 6.
He's so proud.
He's up to 60 wins. He's still down a game since we made the bet, so I'm still trying to.
Yeah, but I was getting.
That was a big week, though. That was a big week.
I'm still going to bring the heat on you, Tim. There's still, 8 weeks left for me to accumulate games on you. Geoff and I were both 5 and 9. The coin was 7 and 7. Geoff is still leading, 63, 50, and 8. The coin is one behind, 62, 52, and 8. Tim is 60, 53, and 8. Everyone's above 500 except for Pat Mayo, who sucks at picks, 48, 65, and 8. However, Arizona coming through in the clutch for both you and I, Jeffrey, bringing our SUPERLOCK records. I am 5, 2, and 1, so winning money on my best bets at least. You're 5 and 3 for the year. Poor Kansas City let Tim down, 4 and 4 for the season on his SUPERLOCKs, but 1 and 7 on free money. Like I said, you're only down 60% of your money if you're taking. Someone even tweeted me they tailed Tim because they felt he was due.
That's sure.
Tail me again. I got a winner this week.
I don't know. Yeah, there are a few people that tailed him, but they tail him in their own ways. Like variations of his bet.
Well, there's 2 people that just did like the opposite, played the money line opposite of one of his picks one week and won like a 13 to 1 parlay. That's free money right there.
That bet wins more than
the teaser does. I would certainly. Bet. It doesn't even need to, but it does.
Because even when it wins like once, if you actually play it, like the payout on it could almost cover like 12 more weeks.
This is true. All right, let's get into the games. Or do you want to talk about Gurley for a second? Because the world lined up to bet the Packers. You got in on them early and bought it up to 10. So you were
even when
you were out of
when we did the show, it was like 9.5.
9.5.
But it stayed there for like a day.
Yeah, most people got it 8 or 7.5. That if Gurley runs that in, the Rams cover the spread. That would have
been a very terrible backdoor.
It would have been.
The Packers were dominating the game. The Packers were clearly the better team on Sunday, I think. And if it weren't for the fumble from Montgomery, I think I am certain they would have won the game.
I'm pretty confident Rodgers gets them to field goal range.
Yeah,
sure.
At least.
But they still need to drain the clock, too. Or else the Rams come back.
Yeah, I don't think they would have done it.
Tim has once, as long as they got the ball back with less than 4 seconds on the clock, or with 4 seconds or more on the clock, Tim has once stated that Greg Zuerlein has goal line to goal line range. So it didn't matter where they got the ball. If they could have kicked a field goal.
I'll say this.
That's true.
After, I don't mean to go back to the garbage that was Arizona, but I was just so happy after that. Like that
was the greatest.
Snickering from ear to ear. And what's ridiculous about that, Pat, is I think I made that bet on Arizona before we did the show, at Arizona minus a point.
Oh, wow. Because it got up to plus 2.5.
I even got in at 3, like 5 minutes before kickoff, and I kept rebetting the game. Like, because when you bet a game, or like sometimes, for our golf watchers.
Yeah, and then the odds change.
You're like, I had him at 50. Oh, he's like 66. You're not going to do that to me. Like, I'll make you pay for that. Oh, he's 75. Here we go again. The spread kept going up. I was like, no. Like, click. with every level, and then once it crosses over to like +1, +2, it's like the perfect teaser game as far as I'm concerned, because it, gets up there. And I don't know, ridiculous.
I mean, I heard
Ridiculous.
somewhere that odds are always subject to change.
They are. Odds and lines are subject to change. You need to see the website for actual odds. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's Thursday night, Oakland at San Francisco. The line is now -2.5 for the 49ers, 45.5 is the total on the game. The 49ers are apparently starting some guy, Nick Mullins, at quarterback. That's not fun.
What school is he from?
No idea. But here's the thing. How much worse than CJ Guilty Beathard can he really be?
I would actually like this more if I was San Francisco. Because I think that guy's the worst, despite having a couple decent performances.
Does this boil down to, on the Thursday night team, looking objectively at it, Oakland just seems like the better team, and whatever team that seems like the better team on Thursday night just always wins and covers? Like, don't get tricky on Thursday night?
That does seem to be the case, but am I certain Oakland's the better team?
No. Tim, what about you? You love Oakland, and they let you down every week.
Yeah, just about. I do like them here this week. I just think on a super, super short road trip, if it can even be called that, that place will be, I think, a preponderance of Raiders fans, to be frank, on a Thursday in the middle of nowhere. Niners fans won't go to Santa Clara for a meaningless game. Raiders fans will. So that'll be like a Raiders home game. Carr is the better quarterback. They have the better team. I'll take the Raiders plus 2.5. It's 3 in a lot of places, but if it's 2.5 on the show, I'll take 2.5.
It was 3 for most of the week, but as soon as the quarterback change came, where are you seeing 3?
Bodog right now has got it at 3.
Yeah, they usually do. Yeah, probably the heavy
underdog
juice,
lines,
though.
yeah.
But they could be. We've already spent more time on this game than I'd want, but I haven't been decisive enough for us to move on. It's hard to imagine that this 49er team should be laying these points to anybody.
I'm taking the 49ers.
I'm probably going to follow you on that, but I'm concerned because this 49er team, again, this is the team that's like 2-35 without Garoppolo. Like, this is that team.
But Oakland sucks. Like, Oakland's bad, too. Like, this could be a matchup, like, Tim, you were saying before we came on that, like, Arizona's bad. Oakland's bad.
Yeah, but in a game of two really bad teams, take the team getting points who is essentially playing a home game on the road.
But they're not playing a home game on the road. Do you really think that Oakland fans were pissed off at the team anyway, that the team is moving or traveling
and
anywhere?
they're fire sailing?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
they're pissing. Listen, I get it because, I'm a Charger fan. But the Raiders are pissing on that loyal fan base as they're leaving. It's not even like that team that won 12 games a couple years ago that they're hoping, they brought Marshawn Lynch. They almost like, it was like this vibe that they want to like leave Oakland with a bang. That was that vibe you got like 2 years ago as the move was happening, as shovels in the ground were happening in Vegas. And now it's, there's complete apathy there, in my opinion, for the Raiders. Unfortunately, there's also probably currently a lot of apathy for the 49ers sans QB1. This game looks pathetic. I do like San Francisco. I do think with the QB change and how Oakland's like at least got players that people have heard of.
Yeah, that might not be anything.
I think it drops though. But for the purpose of the show, I take San Fran. If I actually wanted to bet it, it's never going back to 3 again. Is my point.
How about this? Just don't bet this game. That's probably the best way to go.
Yeah, I got Kittle in the home league, but other than that, I'll like to maybe spend some quality time with the wifey.
There you go. And we got to get you out of here early so you can go see your daughter's Halloween.
Oh, that'd be good.
We'll get you out of here early. Sunday slate. Atlanta at Washington. Washington coming off a decisive victory against those awful New York Giants. I'm glad I didn't talk myself out of that stupid spread last week. That was the one that made the least amount of sense. I was like, screw it. I'll be a square. I'll take Washington.
Oh, yeah, that was the only reason here.
They just,
like, for the purposes of the show, like, I'm not taking the Giants, who are... I have fun observing the generational back, conversation.
Sure, but like Washington's going into last week, I don't understand how Washington's not favored by like 5 points in this game.
Well, the advanced metrics said the Giants should have been favored too. Like everybody thought the Giants should have been favored.
I don't think that everyone should have thought it because it was one of those games where everyone lined up to bet Washington. Everyone thought that Washington was a far superior team because they are.
3 straight weeks, it feels like the Sharps are like giving you vibes on the Giants. That Thursday nighter versus the Eagles, the line crashed.
Yeah.
Then there was a game versus Atlanta.
Atlanta, which
that
they
went,
backdoor covered.
but it went from like 6 or 5.5 to like a field goal, right? And then this one, and last week with the Giants.
Yeah, it turns out they're not good. They're bad. They're a bad team. Like when we talk about Arizona and San Francisco and Oakland, the Giants are in that mix. It's like the worst team in football. And the Bills. And the Jets.
I'm not arguing. I think the Jets are better.
No, the Jets are terrible. So this line is 1.5 at home. Atlanta's coming off the bye week. They're not getting any really healthier. The guys that they've lost for the season. The point total, 46.5. This seems like a lower scoring game, doesn't it? Like maybe it's headcanon for me to think that like Atlanta's offense usually slows down outdoors. And you have to think on the other side of the ball, like the weapons are hurt. Crowder's probably not going to be back for Washington. Alex Smith has looked abysmal. They'll just give the ball to Adrian Peterson 30 times, and all you can do on the Falcons is just run all over them. Like, why wouldn't they just do that?
My favorite story in football is Adrian Peterson.
It's weird, right?
My favorite, because I'm not lying. Like at my drafts, like you take your big sheet with everyone's names. I'd have just like red markered him before like the first pick was even. I don't even want to like own the guy. I'm so happy that run made me so happy. I think this line is actually disrespectful to Washington. Atlanta has been bad on the road. That's not just perception, Pat. I do like Washington here. Atlanta barely beat the Giants at home in like a Monday night game that like you get up for. Not like the Bills or the Patriots on the road, like just whatever, going through the motions of shitty Buffalo. This is Atlanta at home on Monday night. And they beat the pathetic Giants by a field goal.
I feel like the bye week is going to help them out a little bit. Because they basically had to reinvent their team on the fly because of all the defensive injuries. And it's hard to do that on a week-to-week basis. You get a week off, you can re-scheme, refigure out where players have to go, how they have to play, and customize your defense. So it's not the worst in football. Like, they have decent guys in some spots. Like, just figure out a way to get Vic Beasley in the backfield. Just figure that out.
I like Washington here. I think the line is wrong.
Okay, so -1. The coin likes Atlanta on the road. Tim, who do you like?
Atlanta is in the very short circle of perhaps superlocks this week. Look, the problem for Washington is that Atlanta is a horrible matchup for them. They have amongst the worst secondaries in football, and Atlanta should be able to eviscerate that Redskins secondary. I don't think they can stop or cover any of the studs that the Falcons have. Atlanta coming off a bye is huge. New York had to play a long physical game against the Giants. They're anything but fresh. We saw last week the Giants. I mean, Beckham had a really good game. He didn't get in the end zone, but Beckham was absolutely taking apart Washington secondary. I don't think Washington can score enough to keep the game in there. I actually looked at the line. I thought, Atlanta should probably be favored, but they won't favor them because people think Washington's good because they have 5 wins. So I think the value here is on the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to win the game pretty comfortably. The Falcons are the first end of a 5-team 7-point teaser. We're going to tease them up to 8.5.
I object.
I like this game on a teaser, by the way.
I object to Beckham being great last week. He was great when the Redskins were up 2 scores with 5 minutes left. That's when Beckham was great, and the Redskins were just trying to tackle inbounds and say, whatever, you're not like
do what you got to do.
Yeah, you're not going. We're not. If you're scoring like the Giants did score, I believe Ingram backdoored or to within a field goal. You're going to take 3.5 minutes to do it. You're not scoring with a quick hit. So
are you asserting that Washington's got a good secondary?
No, but I'm not.
I mean, their secondary should be improved. Do you know who they just traded for, Tim?
Yeah, Clinton Dix. Which we'll talk about that when we get to the Packers game. I think that's a very strange trade. But I don't think this week he makes a difference for the Redskins. I think Atlanta should eat him up.
I like Atlanta in this game, too. And I do like this game as a tease. One of my favorite future bets that I was looking at, and I put some cash down on it this week, was Philly to win the division. Washington's favored to win the division right now. You can bet Philadelphia at +175 to win the East.
Wow.
I like that bet.
Makes sense. I mean, they haven't played each other yet, and they've got 2 games. Philly's got...
Exactly. They're a game and a half back. Philly gets the bye to figure everything out. They bring in Golden Tate. It doesn't make them what they were last year, but it improves their offense. Like, he's a good player. So, and you get the bye week to figure out the backfield, to get some people healthy. Yeah, Lane Johnson's going to be out another 3 weeks, but, +175. All they have to do is beat Washington twice, which they should.
I
win
like
the division.
I like the bet. I like the bet. I'm just going to say I'm kind of buying what's happening in Washington.
Really? Well, I think of it this way. Philadelphia has been fucking terrible this year. And they're 4-4.
Yeah, of course.
And one of them has Carson Wentz, the other one has Alex Smith. I think this bye will be good for Wentz, too. He's starting to get it back together, and what if all of a sudden he comes out firing Carson Wentz again? So I like Atlanta in this game, though. I think you're right, Tim. I think they can win by a field goal. I think this game's an under game, though. I don't see this.
Yeah, maybe, because I don't think the Skins are going to score a whole lot. I know Atlanta's defense has been bad, but I have not seen Washington really take advantage of bad defenses all told. So, what's Washington's ceiling? 27 points max? Like, I don't know. That's max.
This game feels like 2017 Atlanta, 2017 Washington, something like that. If I'm going to get the 1.5, I'll take the 1.5 with the better quarterback, too. Chicago and Buffalo. This, Tim, made my short list for Super Locks this week. Buffalo is a 10-point dog at home. 37.5 is the over-under. Nate the Great Peterman is starting at QB for the mighty Buffalo Bills. Tim, let's go, Buffalo! You've already tweeted out that you believe in Nate Peterman this week.
What I said is I think he'll be okay, and I do think so.
What is okay? What is the standard of okay for Nate Peterman?
Is it like Tim winning a vote, like on Twitter poll?
What's that?
Is it like a Tim winning a Twitter poll standard?
Yeah, like does that mean if he throws 4 picks, he played okay for him?
This should be on any sane person's 7-point teaser.
No. No.
No.
This is an absolute stay away game for the Bears side of things.
This is for me a play against the Bears. I've been taking the Bills against the number only because I don't trust this Chicago team on the road, quite possibly without Mac again, against a Bills team who, it's hard to know on Monday night whether the Patriots offense was bad or whether the Bills played really good defense. But either which way, you can, if you wish to give Buffalo the benefit of the doubt, you can, and say that the Bills were able to sort of frustrate and stifle the Patriots offense. So the Bills showed some life. I mean, the Bills are a bad team, but like they're not a hopeless team. In the like they can still do a few things.
No,
they're bad. But
I'll tell you why they're hopeless. I'll tell you why they're hopeless though, because if you do want to give them the credit for Monday, which is fine, they put it all out there in their Super Bowl.
That's true.
So if you want to say the Patriots are bad, then okay, then maybe I would agree with maybe liking the Bills this week. But if you say the Bills like were great or like they were the ones causing the problems, they put it all out there, and they lost their Super Bowl. They're a team that's not bowl eligible that had the big team come into their barn on prime time, and they lost.
They should have.
And the Bears, they will find a way to cover because when the Bears are up 6 or 7 or 8. Or 9 with 6 minutes left, and they got to do something, they're going to screw it up. And then Buddy's going to kick a field goal. Like, it's just at some point, even if the game flow is close, like you might think it is,
Peterman will throw them out of it.
In the end, the final score won't be as indicative as the game flow.
Now,
that's what I would be concerned about.
Would you favor the Bears by 16 over the Bills at home?
Because I don't know. There's not a number. There's not a number. You can't do 16 because the Patriots were there a couple days ago and they were 13.5. So I guess they're going off this, but I just think, I don't know. I think Trubs is going to get it, like, just have one of those big days. Too many 3-and-outs for me for Buffalo, where the Bears
This just seems like like a lot. Like if the over/under in this game is 37.5 and the spread is 10, like if the Bills can get to 7 points, they probably cover.
If the Bills play good red zone defense, they'll cover.
Yeah,
them.
and
hold them to field goals like they did.
Here's the thing, though, and Tim kind of brought it up. So you have Khalil Mack, who at worst won't be 100% in playing. Probably not going to play. Allen Robinson has a groin injury. He's probably not going to play. The Bills have a pretty good attacking defense. They can get to the quarterback. Trubisky is not good. Trubisky is a good fantasy quarterback. I don't know how great he is a real-life quarterback. He can get himself at a problem. Someone can basically describe him as the advanced Tim Tebow. That's what he does. He's doing all this shit with his legs. The guy can't make a throw to save his life. And you have a beat-up offensive line against a really good defensive line. And if they start playing this like 3 running back system that the Bills are playing, where Shady plays quarterback half the time, I always just give them a different look. Soak the clock down. I think they can cover the 10.
If you tell me they're actually going to do that, like play Army-style offense, like for 3.5 a carry and go for any 4th down, like cross their own 40, not even the other team's 40, like their own 36, like anything cross that they'd go for, I might feel differently about it. But 10 isn't enough. I'm not saying I'm leaning the Bears. I'm not going to bet the Bears, but 10 isn't enough. I don't know where this is going to go off at, but 10 isn't enough for me to back this Bills team. And I'll give you credit, or not credit. I will agree. There's probably blind value on Buffalo this week because they're such an anti-Buffalo. God, like Nathan Peterman is like deplorable.
Deplorable, Nate.
That's probably built into the spread. So I would agree there is a semblance of value with the Bills, but there's nothing at this point that I could back them with.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it just because I do think that there's value in that 10 points. And weird shit happens in Buffalo.
All the time.
And, it doesn't affect the Patriots because the Patriots go in there and beat them every year.
Listen, the Bills' biggest problem forever is they've never been bad enough. Through even the years when you were whatever. They always go find a way to go 5-11, and they never draft in the top 3, and they never end up getting the A+ players or being around for the players, and they don't even hit the picks.
The last time that they did, they drafted Marcel Darius, which I would say worked out really well for them. He was good for the Bills.
Yeah, for
sure. A few years.
I'm just saying they never. Yeah, they just always seem to weasel away. All those Dick Duran 5-win seasons come to mind. They're never bad enough to be where they need to be. I'm not betting the Bills.
So you're taking Chicago?
Yeah.
All right. Tim and I have Buffalo the coin also.
I'm Island guy this week.
On the back of Buffalo right now. Detroit, Minnesota. The Vikings are 4.5-point favorites at home. 49 is the over-under in this contest. I talked to Dinkmeyer on the Draftkings show a little bit earlier. There's two really big spreads or over-under games this week on the main slate on Draftkings. And then there's that Chiefs-Browns game, which is 51.5. This one's 49. This could be the sneaky shootout game of the week. I don't trust any of these defenses right now. The Vikings are so banged up in their secondary. Maybe Everson Griffin comes back and gives them a semblance of a pass rush, but that hasn't been there. Detroit has the best pass rush in football, and Minnesota cannot block. I like the Lions to cover the 4.5. I think they got blown out by Seattle. Seattle played good D and ran the ball. I don't think that the Vikings are going to be able to do that. And I think let's say Detroit had won last week and beat Seattle, this game's 2.5, not 4.5. These teams are really close. I like Detroit. Tim.
I like Detroit too, but let me say I think the fact that Detroit traded away Tate is dumb. I know they can't keep him at the end of the year, but you've got a team in a division that can win the division and make the playoffs. If you win the division, you can win the Super Bowl. The idea that they got rid of him, I don't think makes much sense.
No. I think that their logic behind it is you can get an asset for Golden Tate right now. And I agree Golden Tate's very good, but one of those receivers became marginalized every single week. They have 3 good receivers. You're trading from a position of power. So now you don't need to distribute all those targets to 3 separate guys. You can concentrate it on 2. You can run double tight end sets, and Kerryon Johnson looks good. You could actually run the ball now. You don't need to be playing the offense that has been good for fantasy, but overall very unsuccessful for them for the past decade. If you can get a pounder in there and you can hand it off and play jumbo sets with 2 big guys on the outside, I don't think that detrimentally hurts their chances.
I hope not. I mean, listen, the Lions are the play. Kirk Cousins is a flop, as we've seen in the news this week. There's an article about that he's a flop. He has been not good. He gets every pass swatted at the line. This Vikings team was way overrated to start the year. They have proven that throughout the year by playing pretty bad football. And, the Lions are a dome team to get to play on the road. I always like taking road dome teams getting to play in a dome. So, yeah. And it's a close divisional game between 2 mediocre to slightly okay teams. The Lions are the play.
I am concerned about the defensive injuries on Minnesota.
For the record, I don't think the Kirk Cousins has been all that bad.
Rhodes,
he is definitely not the problem.
If Rhodes isn't playing, that's a big issue.
If Burr doesn't play, that's a big problem. If Griffin's not 100%, that's a problem.
I'm going to take Minnesota at home.
Minnesota home? 4.5?
Yeah.
They've been awful this year, by the way. Awful.
They have covered 4-7 spreads. Were they 4-3-1 against the spread?
But many of those covers are not at home. The Bills beat them outright. The Saints beat them outright. They have not been a good team at home.
All right, listen, I like Detroit in this game. I think this is a field goal game. It just strikes me as one of those ones. 4.5 just seems like a lot. It's a really bizarre number, too. 4.5.
That's because the public have not yet come to terms with how bad the Vikings are, I think.
I mean, if
they don't think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Put it this way. If they bet on Minnesota every week, they're up money.
Well, it depends. I mean,
depends on what. They're 4-3-1 against the spread.
That depends on the vig, right? They might not actually be up.
Shut
They
up,
might actually
Tim.
be down money.
Come on.
With the push,
Come on.
they might actually be down.
What are they? What are they, minus 150 to take the spread every week? No. Give me a break. Fucking lost it. Kansas City and Cleveland.
You can't even just.
No, he can't. He can't. He's just so triggered by Kirk Cousins. He hates Kirk Cousins so much, despite the fact that I have him on video proclaiming that all he wants is Kirk Cousins to come to New York and be the quarterback because he's so good. Top 5 Kirk. Kirk
Dodged a
Cousins.
bullet.
Top 5.
Dodged a
And
big bullet.
now he's on 4chan finding like message board
What was
threads
his-
about how bad
sorry,
Kirk Cousins is.
I know we've gone about it before, but of those 4 non-Lamar Jackson first-round quarterbacks, how did he rank them before the draft?
It was
Rosen, right?
I believe it was Baker because he thought that the Jets were going to get Baker, so he moved Baker to number 1. And then he started calling him Broadway Baker, and then he vaulted to number 1. Darnold was last of them. He was behind Josh Allen for Tim.
Yeah.
So just remember.
I still think Josh Allen's going to be pretty decent. I'll stand by that. The guy's played
How
4
about
years.
this? Every rookie quarterback from this class fucking sucks, except for Lamar Jackson.
Sam
That's
Darnold
just-
doesn't
It's terrible.
suck. No.
Say-
Again,
Paul brought
people
this up.
said
We'll get
Paul-
there with the Jets
Paul,
game.
Paul
They said
brought
this
this
about
up.
Goff, too.
Paul brought this up last week after we had been talking about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a fat person in 10 years. He's going to age very, very, very
Every
poorly
year
into
we
that
hear
body.
this. Oh, Goff is.
You're not a
Goff is
professional
terrible.
quarterback.
Like
I'm 12, 13 years older than Darnold?
Mhm.
Look into the future, buddy.
just saying.
He's going to look like you in 2 years.
Let's just get to the Jet game before we do double dip with Sam Darnold talk, but he's the best in this class.
He's
so.
definitely not. He's
I'll
so terrible.
He is, and the idea that you could ever judge a quarterback on even a year's worth of games is ludicrous.
I'm telling you, we'll save it for the Jets talk radio here. Kansas City
Sure,
at
we'll
Cleveland.
postpone.
Plus, shut up. Cleveland is hosting the Chiefs. Try to move on. All we can do is talk about the Jets all day long. The Browns, 9-point dogs at home against Kansas City. Obviously, everything has been overhauled for the Chiefs. Greg Williams. Now, this is where I think that this is the train of thought that you need to get into your head if you think Cleveland can cover this game. Is that Greg Williams is going to tell the defense he's going to pay them $50,000 apiece to go after the knees of Patrick Mahomes and anyone who gets in his way. Just hit him after the whistle. We'll just try to take him right out of the game. Boom. Cleveland covers. Do you believe in that, Greg Williams? Bountygate Greg Williams? Who claims that he's had multiple head coaching offers that he didn't even have to interview for. He just had to show up and sign the document, but he passed.
I think it
He
was
sounds like Trump when he talks.
7 defensive coordinators. And his hair dyes like Trump's face.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite lines is that Tony Kornheiser used to say the second G in Greg stands for genius.
People say all the time, I'm very fantastic at coaching. I just didn't want to do it until now. Now will be great.
I'm sort of like just blindly standing on the hill of picking on teams. I don't know if this is a real bet, but
Don't you always love teams the week after their coach gets fired?
that's in other sports.
Like PC principal Dan Campbell?
You fire. Look at the Cavaliers. I think they just crushed last night.
They crushed Atlanta, who's like the other worst team in the league.
Whatever. I'll say this. In football, no, because you fire a coach in football, something is so screwed. Like, a lot of organizations will just almost ride out the season because firing a coach midseason in the NFL is like you're so up shit's creek. Hold on. In Major League Baseball, in basketball, in hockey, these like really long, boring, extended regular seasons, you're at game like 94 or like 60 in those other ones, and you're playing another team that's just going through the motions. I feel like the coach being fired is kind of like a kick in the ass. But in football, you're just so far gone being screwed. I got zero interest. And to me, it's Kansas City or bust. Even though Kansas City's recently showing a propensity to get backdoored on, I don't care. I don't think you can bet this Browns team. And I also think, as I said last week, the play of Baker Mayfield, it's great. Future's fine, but the current play is being egregiously over-exaggerated.
Yeah, they're all bad. All the rookies are bad, except for maybe Josh Rosen. I think he may have turned a corner last week in covering that SUPERLOCK for us. Meant a lot to me.
I'm really high on Rosen.
The chosen one.
Well,
So
he's no Darnold.
So you got Kansas City.
I'm going to take Kansas City.
Tim, are you also taking Kansas City?
Yeah, I mean, not only did the Browns fire their coach, they also fired their offensive coordinator. So, and now they're giving the play calling to a guy who's never called a play in his life. The idea that this line is only 9, like that's so silly. Like I think they've hung a bad number, and I don't know who's coming to the window to bet on Cleveland here. Obviously, this is one of the world's most obvious tease opportunities. We're teasing the Chiefs down at 2, and man, the Chiefs should have no trouble getting through them. I think there's such dysfunction there. Again, Mayfield hasn't looked good, but at the same time, he has no other than the joke who really they just hit it. Like with almost every other rookie quarterback, they have no one around them to make them better in terms or players to accentuate them. So, it's the idea that Baker is now going to be asked to run an offense with a coach who's hasn't called plays, without his head coach, without his offensive coordinator. The Browns are probably not going to win another game all year.
No, defense is too good.
Okay, there's two sides of this. There's actually 3 now too. I'm taking Cleveland to cover the 9, but I'm probably not going to bet it because I'm a coward. The line has dropped to 8.5, like as of right now. And Tim nailed it. Who is walking up to that window betting Cleveland? Now, there's 2 different things. One of the reasons, and we did the wins total show before the season started, that everyone was real gung-ho about the Cleveland Browns and that over a 5.5. Like, that's the bet. Remember, it got juiced up to minus 200 to bet that over? And all 3 of us, I believe, took the under. Why? Because Hugh Jackson was their coach, and he was by far the worst coach in football. Now he's not their coach anymore. Maybe they're better. Like, if that was
Greg Williams is awful.
I agree Greg Williams is awful, but maybe he's better than Hugh Jackson, who is the worst.
Yeah, no, they have some defensive injuries.
And I'm going to bank on the fact that he's going to pay people to cripple Patrick Mahomes.
He's already bringing in his son to run the offense. It's like asking Fredo to run the casino as soon as the Corleone take over. It's like, come on.
He's going to pay people off here to go hurt the other team. Tyreek Hill's practicing in full. He's got a bit of a groin injury. So Denzel Ward's going to punch him in the nuts or something.
They had a game with 5 turnovers. They tied with 4 turnovers. They couldn't win.
Did you hear the GM had to trade Carlos Hyde because they wanted them to play Nick Chubb more and more, and Hugh Jackson refused to do it?
Makes total sense.
I don't think it was Hugh. I think it was Haley who wouldn't.
No, it was Hugh who wouldn't. That's actually the report I read.
And
also,
I mean, that viral video of McVay being able to recall every plays ever called, and Hughes asked a question in the postgame about something in the second quarter, and he could just say, "I don't remember that."
McVay, the betting favorite to be the next Browns head coach.
I don't understand that at all.
That got switched.
Oh, did it?
The internet berated them so hard it got moved to 750.
I don't even understand how that makes sense.
Yeah, that was probably
Coaching
a mistake, or
like when Gruden got traded to the Bucs, I guess.
But why would the Rams trade him?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
They're richer than anything.
Yeah. Why would you leave LA to go coach in fucking Cleveland?
Well, if you get traded, you don't have a choice.
Oh, he's local? Yeah, he's from Ohio. Yeah, you know what? If someone offered me the Halifax Explosion CFL franchise, I think I'd kick it here.
Have you seen his side piece?
McVay's?
Yeah.
Chiat?
It's out of this world. You think they're going to Cleveland? Get out of here.
I don't know. I'll take Cleveland plus the 9. I'm not betting it, though. I'll just take it from
I don't know. I don't feel great about saying I like Chicago and KC. I'm hoping to go 1-1 with those big road favorite. But yeah, I'm starting to think maybe the blind move is to take both those big home dogs in the effort of going 1-1. But I'll stay where I am.
I mean, taking the better team in both matchups usually will lead more to 1-1 than 0-2. Jets and Miami. I saw reports say that Ryan Tannehill was throwing a ball.
This feels like Andrew Luck again.
Brocktober is over. Maybe the Tannehill is back.
How do you go from being scrapped an hour before the game to not playing for a month?
I don't know. Miami. Kenny Stills is also not practicing.
And Gase is getting pissy at the podium, too.
Good. I get pissy on Monday show a lot. You just get tired. You get tired after a big Sunday. You get all pissed off. So the Jets are 3-point dogs in Miami. The over-under is 45. I don't have a real strong take on this game whatsoever, but Miami already went into New York and beat the Jets earlier, and the Jets are significantly more injured now than they were at that time. And not to say that Miami isn't, but I really haven't noticed a difference between the Brock Ness monster and that receiver who plays quarterback for them. They're basically the same offense. And now Devontae Parker's a cog in this offense again. I actually did a hit for SNY in New York that I think if you're going to bet the Jets, the two bets are bet Isaiah Crowell over rushing yards and bet Chris Herndon III anytime touchdown. Like, Tim, do you have a hot take on the spread in this game?
Not really. I would take Miami for the reasons you said. I mean, it's in Miami where they tend to play a little better. The Jets just have nobody to play offense. Like outside of the two guys you mentioned, it looks like Anderson's probably not going to go this week. The receiving core is just bereft. You saw it last week against the Bears. They could do nothing despite opportunities. Like, yeah, I just think that the Dolphins are the play here.
So I like the Dolphins. The coin likes the Dolphins. Tim likes the Dolphins. Jeff, will you be backing Safe Space Sam?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of rowdiness in Miami overall. Now, maybe at the stadium, it won't be so bad because no one's there, and that can really work as his safe space.
Such a cool stadium.
But if you could imagine, like, if you went to downtown Miami, how triggered he'd get by all the commotion.
I'm backing Sam.
Sam sucks. The Jets are tanking. The Jets are tanking so they can draft a quarterback next year.
Everybody who watches realizes
that's not fair.
what he says about Sam is just to try to anger me.
There's someone new watching that doesn't know what you're like.
I'm dead serious. I'm convinced the Jets are tanking because they knew they blew it with this Darnold pick. So they have to go draft a new quarterback next year.
They killed it with the Darnold pick.
It's like watching a troll. It's like watching a troll come up with his troll in live time. That's what Pat is doing.
You're hoping that's what I'm doing because you don't want to admit I'm right.
I
don't. Besides looking like a crash test dummy, what else can you really say about Sam Darnold?
He is first and foremost.
Hey,
he has nothing.
You're far more handsome than Sam Darnold, Jeff.
Like, he's got nothing, and he has made plays. And again, don't take it from me. Take it from people who know the sport and watch it every week, who say that Sam has shown bursts and has shown skill that will at 21 that will serve him very well into the future. I mean, remember, he has no one on the offensive line. He has no one at wide receiver right now.
He gets very triggered all the time. That leads to a lot of bad decisions. You were trying to bet that he would throw a pick in the first 10 passes last week.
Just to try to counterbalance somebody who keeps trying to bet the opposite on me, just to put them on the other side of it and see if they really wanted to play that. Listen.
He's bad.
The
Jets are bad. He's bad. He's like, he might be.
The Jets are bad.
Who do you think is going to have a better career? Honestly. Sam Darnold or Achilles Smith?
You're not going to upset me. You're not going to anger me. I win. You lose. You have failed in your quest. To quote Vader, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Why would I have any faith in Sam Darnold? Give me a break.
Vader...
Like I said, the guy is going to be like 50 pounds overweight in 2 years. Look at his body type. Are you kidding me?
Yes, because you know what? Peyton Manning was a real,
So now Sam Darnold is Peyton Manning. Is what you're getting
but
at.
I'm saying I can name, or Carson Palmer. These guys were not like physical specimens.
Carson Palmer's a pretty good athlete. Sam Darnold is not.
Palmer was a fine athlete. And I'm just talking about...
Carson Palmer, or Sam Darnold looks like someone that had to take like remedial math.
Okay. You can just keep piling up the sarcasm all
I just don't see what you're... I'm watching these Jets games. I mean, I'm not the one spending my entire day getting indoctrinated on Jets message boards about how great Sam Darnold is. But like, pump the fucking brakes. Yeah, you know what? He's not an athlete, but neither was Peyton Manning. Neither is Tom Brady. Like, odds are that he sucks. He's not good. He's terrible.
No. Odds are not that he sucks.
Why would odds be that he is good? Please explain that to me. When have the Jets ever drafted a good quarterback?
We've actually drafted several good quarterbacks.
So he's going to be Chad Pennington? That's his ceiling?
He could be Ken O'Brien, who was a really good quarterback.
How long ago was that?
1983.
Okay.
All right.
And, Sanchez, for all of his problems, did get to...
Sam Darnold could be the new Sanchez, Jeff. That sounds great.
No, he's better
but
than
at least they
everybody.
surrounded him with talent. They gave him the best defense of a 3-year stretch in the NFL, and they gave him wide receivers who could make plays, and they had good running backs. Like, the Jets haven't given Sam any of these things.
Safe Space Sam. You have to call him by his name if you're going to be on the show. Safe Space Sam. Very triggered. What about his therapy peacock? They helped him out with that. He gets to call his therapist when he goes to the sidelines.
I am rising above your level. I will not sling the mud with you.
What are you going to sling at? You actually have nothing to sling at me except for, he's basically Peyton Manning.
The guy's got 3 wins.
Fantastic.
He's playing fine, but he has nothing. Who can he complete passes to?
I mean, if there's one thing I want to see from my rookie quarterback is a very solid, 9% completion percentage?
I mean, he's got
Like,
drops left and right.
If he can get, all right, it's the drops. I mean, they just
No, it's
drop
not just the drops,
They drop
but the
every
drops are
pass he
real.
throws. You know what you're going to be giving out for Halloween at your door tonight? Fucking excuses, pal. Because you got all of them. You need to hand some of those away.
I don't know.
I am not.
I think
taking-
All you do is, honestly, there's nothing you can say negative about Safe Space Sam that you don't have some sort of mysterious
Stop
counter
calling him
for.
that.
Oh, why? Hey, that's what he is.
Stop
The
calling
guy
him
is
that.
a triggered millennial. He's probably like you, wakes up and has some fucking Icelandic yogurt with honey in it. Because he can't have anything too protein filled, because he'll gain 800 pounds.
Again, I am not taking the bait. You are not going to win this one. But he is going to be one of the best quarterbacks of our lifetime. I'm certain of it. But he hasn't had the players yet. You surround him in this offseason and the offseason after that, and the offseason after that, with good receivers, with an offensive line that can block, with good running backs, with a head coach and offensive coordinator who can maximize his skills. He can be one of the better quarterbacks of our lifetime. He can be that good. But the Jets have to make the right decisions around him. They are throwing this year away in part because they're not giving him the tools to develop him. The very notion that we can look at him throwing at nobodies, who's managed to win 3 games, by the way, throwing to nobodies and say, oh, he's not good, I think he's triggered, just is not credible. And those of us who are sincere in watching the games and are not just trying to pick him apart and see everything in bad faith will know that everything is in front of him. There's every reason to be... I can't...
Yeah, you took the bait.
Oh, no, I did.
One of the best
Is that what you wanted?
quarterbacks of all time, Jeff.
Of our generation.
Are you
I think
seeing
you
it?
said.
Best of generation?
No, I'm not there, but I'm a big fan.
I think
I'm
you're
a
there.
huge fan.
I mean, he's won 3 games.
I
already.
think you're trying
3
too hard.
games
I think
already.
you're trying
Well,
too hard.
Well, it's working. I mean, I have yet to see anything. He made one really nice pass to Robbie Anderson in the Denver game. Made one week 1 against Detroit. Other than that, he's been absolute shit.
He's got nobody, but I don't know.
So what happens in 5 years' time when he's awful?
No, he won't
What's
be.
Tim going to
He
do?
won't be.
He's going to
He won't
blame,
be.
oh,
He
well,
won't
the
be.
Jets didn't hire the right coach. Well, they didn't sign the right people
I'm
in the
actually
offseason.
very-
He's just going to be great. Do you know who this... I wouldn't be
I'm
so...
very confident
I
in his
wouldn't
floor.
be so down on this if Tim didn't say the same fucking things about Christian Hackencuss.
Okay, fine.
I said none
but
of these.
Oh, really?
But-
Really, Tim? Let's go back and watch some of the older shows and listen to what you had to say about Christian Hackenberg. It's the exact same thing, like when we told you when we were
I'm not
laughing about him hitting reporters on the sidelines with passes. Oh well, that's just fake news. That didn't happen. You can't just believe
Tony
people.
Romo
Now you want
said
to.
himself.
You know what? John Gruden said a whole lot of things about quarterbacks. He doesn't know shit, as it turns
Tony
out.
Romo has played the position at almost a high level as you can play.
Tim,
And for
don't
him
take the
to
bait.
say- For him to say
Tony
that
Romo
after
says it.
After Rodgers and Brady's are gone, that he thinks that Darnold will be the best quarterback in football. He'll be one of the best of our generation.
You understand
You
that Tony Romo is someone that had, 9 career concussions? He might have brain injuries. Who knows what he's saying?
Tony Romo is a football genius.
And just like you said about John Gruden, but if we go back and look at every single quarterback that John Gruden big-upped throughout the course of his 10 years in the booth, where are they now? They're nowhere. They're not in the league. But you still think that John Gruden's a genius?
I think he's a genius play caller. I mean, of course he is.
So now he's a
almost-
genius play caller. Before, when he was evaluating quarterbacks, he was a genius evaluator.
I don't think I said he was a genius evaluator. I
You
think
did.
he's a genius
If we
play
go
caller.
back to
Still do.
if we go back, you do?
As a play caller, yeah, I think he's still one of the very best.
There is one thing John Gruden has been good at this year, being such a crappy coach and faux GM that he's backdoored his way into first-round picks, which he'll screw up because he's a terrible talent evaluator.
We shall see.
All right. So Miami for all of us, except for you, Jeff. You're taking Safe Space Sam and the Jets.
Yeah, me and you are going to have different records this week.
Yeah, this will just work itself out to be even. That's how it works out. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Baltimore, 3-point favorites at home. 47.5 is the over-under in this game. I got no feel for it. I do like Baltimore back at home, though. Their defenses look bad the past 2 weeks, though.
Okay, I say this. I really want to like Baltimore because I think this is right into Baltimore's MO of these AFC North games. Whatever you almost see coming into them doesn't happen. the team you deem to be inferior in the Bengal, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, trifecta circus, in my opinion, always seems to play better and win. And Baltimore's sort of been knocked down. I really do like Baltimore here.
You do like Baltimore?
Yeah, I do like Baltimore in this spot after being embarrassed in a couple games.
Are you surprised that it's 3 points?
I am very surprised.
No,
with
that's
Pittsburgh,
a classic number for these guys.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not.
it's gotta go down.
Because Pittsburgh always gets the half-point edge here.
But also because Baltimore coming off, Pittsburgh off a bye and Baltimore off.
No, Pittsburgh coming off the big win last week.
Sorry, Pittsburgh off the big win and Baltimore off the really ugly game. I'll say this though, I have a newfound. I don't know. The Pittsburgh Steelers do a lot of things wrong, but they do some things exponentially right.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have a hard time going against this Pittsburgh team right now, even though I'm picking Baltimore. I think it's incredibly touching that 100+ former and current Steelers went to a funeral yesterday for the Pittsburgh shootings.
It was very moving.
So
indeed.
that like moved me even. That was something else. So for all like the weird things Pittsburgh does, they're always, I don't know, first class in many ways. That being said, I don't know. I like Baltimore here. And I think this thing even drops 2.5 to.
I think it goes down. Like it has to go down.
Yeah.
People want to bet Pittsburgh in this spot. If it doesn't go down, I think that should tell you something. I almost prefer it stay at 3. I mean, Baltimore just blew them out in Pittsburgh like 4 weeks ago. Baltimore might be the better team.
Baltimore is sort of now this wounded, animal team off a couple. I don't know. They played very well versus the Saints, and
they just picked up Ty Montgomery too, who had to leave Green Bay because he was getting death threats. Green Bay, fun place to be. Tim, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Steelers, and we're teasing the Steelers up to 10. They're the third end of a teaser. Again, I think this is just a free teaser here.
This is the one?
Well, no, I don't see how either of these teams beat the other by more than 10 this week. I know Baltimore won by 12 last time they played, but the Steeler team is better than the last time they met. Pittsburgh is really they've got this team and this ship righted from its early season problems, and they're chugging along quite well. Baltimore is sort of floundering a little bit. I look at the quarterbacks. We, of course, feel like Ben better. The Steelers have a significantly better wide receiver core. I like the running back, Connor, still better. The Bell issue still hasn't reared. It's the only thing I think that can derail the Steelers is what and if they'll do anything with Bell when he comes back. How many weeks will they not play him? Like stuff like that could be a problem for them, but that's not their problem yet. So as it stands, I think the Steelers knock Baltimore out. I think the Steelers win it on the field. I think they win it by 6 or 7.
I'll say this. You could argue Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore's losses are against two teams that, could be powering from like the top 6 of the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
They also lost to Cleveland.
So, I mean, they're back-to-back losses.
Saints and Carolina. Maybe
But
the NFC
then
South is
for
just
Ty
really good.
Cleveland. So,
I think Baltimore's better. Just straight up.
I don't think so.
I mean, the offense isn't quite. I like what they're doing on offense. I like the fact that, they know they don't have a great run game, so they're going to pass a ton. And Flacco's looked pretty good. They're protecting him all right. They're much better on defense than Pittsburgh is, and the special teams will always lean towards any Harbaugh team. Always. And I think that Harbaugh's a better coach than Mike Tomlin. I really do.
Well, yes. The Steelers are a very poorly coached team. That goes without saying.
So
But
I'll take Baltimore.
the talent's better.
Tampa at Carolina. Tim, you're dressed up as Cam. Do you like Carolina minus 6.5 at home against the Fitzmagic? 54.
I actually do, and I very rarely pick the Panthers, but I'm taking them this week. This is a pure play against Fitzpatrick. It's like people have amnesia with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Every time they see him play well, they just think he's gonna play well the next time they see him play, and then he self-immolates and then goes away for a while and then plays well, and people are like, oh, he's gonna be good the next time I see him. No, people, that is not what's happening here. Ryan Fitzpatrick caught, like he always does, lightning in the bottle in a weird spot where the Bengals were playing a lot of prevent defense. They foolishly take the job away from Winston, essentially ending his career with the Buccaneers as far as I'm concerned now, or at least if Winston's back, Cutter can't be back next year. that's a bad spot. The Panthers the Panthers are looking down the barrel very quickly of a division that's getting away from them because the Saints are looking pretty unstoppable. So the Panthers cannot afford to give away division games at home against an inferior opponent like Tampa. They need to play their best football and really make sure they take care of business. I expect Newton to do so. I expect Fitzpatrick to throw the game away. So yeah, I like Carolina.
Kind of with Tim on the Fitzmagic thing, but like it's no different than Jameis playing at this point. And Jameis actually he threw, besides the Kirk Cousins interception, he threw the worst interception I may have ever seen last week against Cincinnati. It was brutal.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
He overthrew O.J. Howard, who was 20 feet tall, over his head, and just looping right to the Bengals defender. So I think it's too many points, is the one thing I'll say. Because Carolina's defense has not been good at home. Outside of that Dallas game, they've now played 2 other games at home, both massively going over the number. We were on that last week. That was a good call. Even again, against the Ravens team that everyone thought that would be down in scoring. But I don't know. I just think there's a ton of points in this game, and Tampa lingers.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Tampa just lingers every
Too
single
many
week.
points.
And they're 3-1 with Fitzpatrick against the spread. Jameis is the one who's throwing them out of these games. Yeah, Fitzpatrick's going to make his mistakes, but he's also going to take his shots too. And he might throw 2 picks, but he'll throw 2 touchdowns. And that might be enough. Like, the backdoor's always in play with Fitzpatrick because he doesn't stop. That's the one thing about the Jets, too, with some of these backdoor covers that I've noticed about them is they want to get safe space Sam so many reps that it's not like other teams at the end of games where they just turn around and hand the ball off with 3 minutes left. Tim, you must have known it. In these games the Jets have been out of throughout the course of the season, they play till 0 on the clock trying to score points. And I feel like Tampa's the same way.
I think it's too many points. I like Tampa here. I'm almost picking on the team that had, in my opinion, the most impressive win of the week.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I saw such an impressive win. They're coming off of beating the defending champs with an amazing comeback. I think this is going to be a nail-biter game. I do probably think Carolina, should win it.
Do you think this goes up? Do you think this gets to 7?
I'd love for it to get to 7. I doubt it.
I don't. I actually think
doubt
there could be a little bit of buyback.
I like Tampa. Too many points.
So, someone posed a theory to me that you can always tell whether Carolina is going to win or lose depending on the quarterback that Carolina is playing that day. Does Cam Newton respect them or not? That really determines Cam's performance. When he's playing a quarterback that he respects, he tends not to play that well. When he's playing some loser quarterback with no swag, he tends to run train on them. Now, where does Ryan Fitzpatrick fit into that? Too much swag? More swag than Cam?
I don't have a clue.
Tim?
I also punt on the question. I have no idea.
I think that the Fitzmagic swag might be able to come through here. I don't know if they win on the field. They could lose by 3 or 4. Most definitely. One of my favorite games of the week. Houston at Denver. Teams that just traded with each other. So it's an instant revenge game for Demaryius Thomas, who I don't think is going to be all that good for Houston. He's a net loss for them over Will Fuller for the rest of the season. Denver's -1 at home. 46 is the over-under. That's already up from 45. I just really like the over in this game. I've already bet the over in this game. These are two of the fastest-paced teams in the NFL, both inside the top 10. In terms of pace of play, they're 2 teams that have bad offensive lines going up against 2 defensive lines. The defense might get in on the scoring in this game. Houston has a good run defense that's going to force Denver to pass the entire time. And Houston just has big play guys. Like if QD plays, if DT plays, and Hopkins all play, and Lamar Miller is going to have free running lanes along with Watson. I see this being a points bonanza. I really like the over. I have no idea who's going to win, though. Jeff, do you?
I certainly don't know who's going to win. I think everyone will be running to bet Houston.
You think so?
So that's kind of keeps me away. What exactly is
the costume coin is out of commission?
What exactly is the injury to Watson?
Lung.
So
Too
won't the
many cigs.
altitude here be an issue?
Apparently, it's not so bad. Paul, it's right there underneath the camera. You got it?
So give me Denver, but this is a real nose plug. This is almost like Vegas, like I'm siding with the house. If that makes any sense.
I'll take Houston because they have a better quarterback.
But right, would you not agree? Like the 1 point, like Denver's almost like you're just siding with the house here because how could this game be bet evenly?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do give Denver a lot of stock for being good at home. and that's not factored into the line right now. Like on a neutral site, Houston would be favored. Houston comes in with all the momentum. You're asking Case Keenum to pick apart this secondary. And you can do that like they did last week with Kansas City when you're able to establish a run and get Phillip Lindsay going. But Houston's run defense is really good. So now you're asking, and you're just taking away Demaryius Thomas from this offense. Not that he was doing much, but now you're elevating Cortland Sutton into a role that maybe he's not ready for. Is he ready for a 30% market share of targets when teams are actively coming after him? And Denver can't block. That's not good against Houston. When's Keenum going to have time? You're going to pressure Keenum? He's going to be great? No, come on. So Houston for me. Tim, who do you like?
Yeah, you've made all the points I was gonna make. Other than I think this Denver team is basically packed her in, and giving away Thomas is Elway sending a signal to the team that the Broncos are packing it in. And so
I think you're putting too much name value on these guys who got traded. Like Demaryius Thomas isn't good anymore.
No, well, I don't know whether he is or isn't good anymore. But the fact is that they gave him away. Makes Denver have to think, okay, well, I guess they don't have much faith in us. And, the defense is still a force to be reckoned with. And there's something to be said at home. But, I thought the Texans were going to be really good this year. They started 0-4, but they have been high-flying.
0-3, yeah.
It was 0-3, sorry. But they won, 5 straight? Like, they have been pretty high-flying. They look pretty good. I'm gonna back them just to be consistent.
Here's the problem. Every time, I'd say 95% of the time, Tim proclaims a team has quit.
They definitely have not.
They'll come back and win the next game.
I think they just evaluated their team and said Cortland Sutton's better than Demaryius Thomas.
Why
do we need Demaryius Thomas?
They want to get him the reps. Whether he can handle them, they want to give them to him. So I get it. I think it was a great trade for Denver. I don't think it's the type of trade that makes the locker room feel any different than it did 48 hours ago, to be perfectly honest.
Like, Denver wins this game by effectively running the ball and getting to Watson. And we know they're going to get to Watson, but it's how many bad decisions does Watson make with Chubb and Von Miller in his face? And will it be more or less than Case Keenum does with Watt and Clowney in his face? I bet on Watson. Watson's better. And it's only 1 point, so you're just asking them to win. And they're a 1 point dog, too. You ready for this? We haven't talked about your Chargers in a while.
I got nothing to say.
Oh, nothing? Chargers.
That is not true, and you know it.
Chargers at Seattle, -2. 48 is the over-under. Seattle's good again because they run the ball 700 times a game. They caused a fight between poor Jake Seeley and Garrion on the show yesterday. No one's had a... What did I say? I was going to say it was a very forceful but high-pitched argument back and forth.
It's like a slap fight.
Yeah, it was... Russell Wilson is throwing touchdowns at a hilariously efficient clip. Like, he threw 20 times.
Really good.
He threw 17 times last week, threw 3 touchdowns. And that's like the same thing that happens every week. Do you think, and I'll go to you, because Bosa is not going to be back, right?
No.
Has he shed his walking boot yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like running straight line. At this point...
He's out of the pool?
At this point... They are taking 0 chances. They just want him 100% healthy. The schedule lines up where it's like Oakland, after this game, Oakland, Arizona, Denver. They have said he will not play till he's 100%.
Which is smart.
Which is smart, especially the way the season's going, especially
in the AFC,
way
yeah.
the schedule is lining up. On top of that, if you really break down what the injury probably was, which probably was a fracture in the heel. Most doctors would say that is an 8 to 10 week injury.
Like Eric Berry's.
And we're still on that timeline. I still think we misdiagnosed the early camp injury because this apparently happened like while we were recording the week 1 show.
Really?
Yeah. He was practicing like Wednesday, week 1. Anyways, could all work out for the better. Like if he comes back healthy and we're a winning team.
Well, that's the thing.
People want to hear about this week.
If the Chargers can make the playoffs, or at least get themselves into playoff contention, then all of a sudden you inject Bosa back in, and teams don't know what this defense looks like and how that impacts the offense too by having that big of a pass rush coming at you.
He'll be back before the playoffs. I think
he'll be back whenever they play the Chiefs.
Maybe, or I mean, there could be a situation where if they lose this week and the Chiefs just continue to roll, that a win against the Chiefs doesn't do you anything. Just save him for the playoffs.
I don't think it's that far away. I don't think we're like another 8 weeks away. I think he's like 2
Get him healthy
from being.
Make sure he's 100%.
No, I agree, but I think we're about 2 weeks, and we're already being super cautious. Why is Tim laughing? What have I done that's funny?
You're just so annoyed at the idea that he might miss like 6 more weeks. And like you're not even willing to tolerate the idea of it.
I'm just happy I didn't bet him to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Smart.
He would have
Savvy.
been like second or third probably on,
probably.
on that list.
Maybe he still will. Maybe he'll be back this week.
I'm not fully confident Gordon is going to play.
Me neither.
I'll say that right now. Reading into coach speak and just my hunch about this.
I can't even figure out what Seattle does well.
They've run the ball.
I don't know how they run. I don't know how
pace,
they run the ball. Though.
And their pass rush has been very good.
Their pass rush has been good, but the offensive line for the
I'll say
Chargers
this.
is pretty good. And
This is a game.
Sir Phillip, good under pressure.
Oh, baby. I don't want to go here.
Do it.
But you guys, I am so blessed to have him. Yeah, I am. He's so much better than people actually even think he is.
Do you think
I honestly
is he
mean
better or worse than Safe Space Sam?
Because
Tim said that he's better.
if he
There's
could
a
have,
generational difference.
if he could have that Phillips career, he could be so lucky.
By the way, Tim talks.
Then he'd be one of the best QBs of our generation.
And I would say this. I am so blessed. And last week was such a pain. They're on bye. I am so blessed to get to hear him speak every week for what? It's been 14, 15 years. I don't miss a Phillip podium. And he just loves talking football. And I just love listening to everything he says. Okay, back to the game. Phillip Rivers 4-10 career off the bye. That's something real. And that's weird. This is a Charger.
He's got to be Mr. Mom for the week. He's
Well,
exhausted.
I guess that maybe that is it. The wife says you've been like you got time to make up, and this is a bye after he hadn't been home forever because they spent the extra time in Cleveland.
And then they were in London.
Yeah, but the big touchdowns they scored in London were all credit to Phillip. Just all film. Those Titans safeties collapse on Keenan, and it's just over the top. Okay, back to this game. The math people that I know that like live and die with like half points.
Love the Chargers.
No.
And you can tease them up.
Well, I think they're great for a teaser. It sets up perfect for the teaser narrative. A couple of them that I've spoken to, this is they think the hardest game to pick of the week. They think it's perfectly capped. And they're almost annoyed these two teams are playing each other because they're almost like overrated in the public's eyes, that it would have been a nice opportunity to pick on both clubs playing other teams. I really don't know what to make of this. I'm also worried that 3-0 this year is ownership death swag. Alex Spanos, Tom Benson, and Seattle won.
And
Now,
Paul Allen last
of all these ones, Paul Allen to me is actually the closest to the teams. Mr. Spanos had severe dementia for like 12 years. No real current roster. I don't think I ever like met him. I mean that. I think Benson was going through a dementia issue, although I think there are ties to some of the, like Peyton and Breeze, what have you. Paul Allen really did, like, the guys on this team, everything was first class, and they all got to know, for the most part, those core players that are still there got to know him. I'm worried that because it's the first home game, there's still, like, death swag residue for Mr. Allen. I've said a lot, but I think I've said absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Tim, where are you going with this game?
I'm going to do something I almost never do. I'm going to take the Seahawks against the number, but I'm going to tease up the Chargers.
I don't think that's
not crazy.
that crazy.
I never do that, though, but I never usually
Well,
go
I mean, in fairness, you're 1-7 on these teasers. Maybe trying something out new could be a new strategy for you.
Well, I'm on a heater. You know, I got last week, so I'm sort of on it.
You're calling winning 1 of 8 a heater?
Can I just define like sports term for a heater? Winning 1 just means you won 1. Winning
Yeah,
2,
that's all I need.
Winning next week means you've just won back-to-back. 3 we can call a heater.
A turkey. Tim's
Right.
already a turkey. He got a turkey lined up all the way for Thanksgiving.
And all will be carved.
I think there's
Yeah.
big plays to be made though against this
I do,
secondary.
too.
You
I
saw
don't-
the way that that even what's his name Stafford was able to hit a couple big plays. I think there'll be big plays for the Chargers, but I guess
Yeah.
that's their MO, right? The Chargers
Seattle
still losing.
wins on a missed San Diego field goal at the end of the game. That's how it ends.
That does sound like something that would happen. The coin likes the Chargers. And the coin's usually pretty good with this stuff. Almost as good as you. You never don't take the Chargers. I'm going to write you down as the Chargers.
Yeah. Can I say something about this game? I got to go to Palm Beach for a family wedding this weekend. I haven't missed a snap. I couldn't tell you when. I'm adamant that I won't miss a snap.
Do you want my DAZN account so you can just watch it on
No,
your
I don't
phone?
think I can watch it in the States, though.
It doesn't work in the States.
Won't work in the
Get
States.
the NFL package for like 1 week. It costs like $10.
Yeah, on my phone. I know, but I'm
just
just
stream it
telling
on
you
your
this. Like, the ceremony's at like 60s. I am going... My wife is going to...
My wife?
Is going to meet someone...
Else?
She's only, like, in her nightmares. Me knowing that Philip's, like, dropping back and not, like, and being naked to it is, like, I don't have asthma, but I think I need to, like, get a puffer.
Now, this is a very serious...
Like, I don't know. I'll be, like... This is going to be me sitting there. Like, literally shaking. Like, my knee will not fucking stay still. I get, like, real heart palpitations thinking about this Sunday.
Big game.
You should get some aspirin. Just make sure you have mini aspirin, baby aspirin with you on hand.
You don't know the crazy shit that goes through my head.
I don't. 'Cause I don't.
I can sympathize.
He can. This is where you're like
I don't want you to post this.
I mean, it's a part of the show.
No, I don't want it, like, cut.
Oh, I'm definitely.
Because then my wife sees it. But I have these, like...
I won't do that.
But I'll say what I want to say.
Can we do that? Can we make requests about what isn't cut? Because if so...
No, it's in the show. If you're watching the show and you're a fan, you get this. But, like, I have these crazy...
Listen, when you get married and your husband says, I don't want this being shown, then fine. Didn't see that one coming. But yeah, when your significant other says, or you have to say, I have to hide this from them because I don't want her to know that I'm going to be pacing around like a crazy person and I might have a heart attack. Like, yeah.
That she knows. But what she doesn't know is that I legitimately think, like, is tossing myself down the stairs, like, worth it?
Oh my God. What you should have done was convince your friends to say, you know what? Sunday weddings, I mean, that's tradition. That's great. A lot cheaper to get married on a Friday.
No, all my friends got married on Saturdays. This is my wife's family. It's in Florida.
He loves it. Tony, just get like the NFL package for one week.
No, I know that, but like even during the thing, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's your wife's family, is she like standing in the wedding or something?
No, but I wish she was, so I could sit alone in the.
Sit your daughter in between.
My daughter's not even invited.
What? Oh, so it's like my wedding. No kids.
Yeah, they just,
adults only.
But my daughter was.
Jeff,
my daughter,
it gets blue.
My daughter was originally invited, and now she isn't. I actually think it's better.
What did she do?
No, like they first thought like they wanted kids, like cousin. Then like my wife's cousin said, you know what? I think we're scrapping the kids part of it. But I think her not being there, her being there would be worse because at least like now that she's not, I don't know, man. I just gotta like run and hide. I'll probably be listening to the Chargers radio feed.
Oh, that's sneaky. Do you want the earpiece to take with you? You can plug it into your phone. And then she won't even see. Just put it in the opposite ear from where you're sitting, and you can just have it like you're in the FBI the entire time.
So is this worse than the time I hid the remote at somebody's house so I could watch the Jets?
So I could be
It's a lot like the time you hid the remote at someone's house so you could
watch
the Jets.
I fucking love that move.
It's not bad. I'm willing to do that for the show.
Nothing to say about this game?
I'm taking the Chargers.
I get it.
They play close games. They're getting points. Why not?
I don't know. This is a big game. Or is it? I don't know.
It doesn't hurt the tiebreakers for the Chargers.
I mean, I don't think it matters to the Chargers. The Chargers are going to glide to the playoffs as the 5 or 6 seed. They're not going to catch the Chiefs.
Well, November will do that because if they can take advantage of this really soft November, then
if they can't, they weren't doing anything in the playoffs anyway. So I'm taking the Chargers. The coin's taking the Chargers. Jeff's taking the Chargers. Tim's taking Seattle.
I think Seattle matches up very well though against us.
Sure, but here's the problem. And in the games that Seattle has won or even covered against the Rams, they were able to keep the game close or get up really early, allowing them to continuously run the ball. What happens if there's a big Tyrell Williams strike right away and they're down 7-0?
It's what we do.
Or they get down 10-0. Then Seattle's playing the game that they don't want to play. And then they might be screwed.
I guess, but I don't know. We hit Williams big early, and we still ended up playing the exact game the Titans wanted to play.
Yeah.
We hit 2 big touchdowns, and we were still in the game the Titans wanted to be in. Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. Kind of like the Titan game, though, that I picked the Chargers. I didn't have the most confidence in, and the Titans obviously covered.
Rams Saints. 2 is the line in New Orleans. 59.5 is the over-under. Do you think anyone will bet the under?
There's a 63 early posted on the Week 11 game with the Rams Chiefs in Mexico.
Well, that's altitude. Patrick Mahomes will be able to throw the ball 130 yards in the air.
I don't know. I feel like I just spoke a lot.
All right, Tim, you go first on this one.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think that the Rams are I think the line is off. I will say that. I think that the Rams are the better team, and I don't think they should be laying 1.5 or 2 points in this game.
It is 2 points.
You
think they should be favored in New Orleans?
Yes, I do think so. I think the Rams are materially better. I get that New Orleans has played great since their Week 1 debacle at home, but the Saints have stumbled a little bit at home against the Buccaneers, against the Browns. They didn't look all that impressive. Last week, it wasn't the offense that saved them last week. It was Kirk Cousins throwing a terrible pass. It was the Vikings self-destructing that really led to the Saints' success. The Rams, you're telling me you're going to give me an undefeated football team with points. I'm going to take it this late in the year. We're going to tease them up to 8.5. We're going to play the Rams here. As much as I think that we're going to see this rematch in January in the NFC Championship game, this game will make sure that the game is played in Los Angeles, not in New Orleans. I really think that the Rams – I think that the people are hot on the Saints right now. They've seen the Saints play great. They just played a great game in prime time. The Rams looked not that great against the Packers. In fact, I think they got outplayed by the Packers. But the Rams have been kind of outplayed a couple of times this year and have managed to win those games and win them every time. I think the Rams are better coached. I think that the Rams will go into this game understanding that this is the first real benchmark game they've had. If they're going to assert themselves as not just a great team, but maybe an all-time team. When you get to 8-0, you can't help but think we could be something really, really special that we remembered for a long time. That type of team has got to beat the Saints, or at least
the 15-1 Panthers that no one remembers.
Well, because they lost in the Super Bowl. If they won the Super Bowl, they would be remembered as an all-time great team.
What's the Saints' record?
That's 7-1, right?
They're 7-1. They're 5-2.
They had a bye. They've had a bye.
They've covered 5 games in a row.
I think they're 6-1.
They lost Week 1
had
when
a bye.
Killed us in suicide.
That's huge, and I don't think that the Rams.
So my point being,
the Rams are good. They're not a 16-0 team. They got to lose somewhere. Here are the Chiefs. They'll lose this game. I'm taking New Orleans.
7-0 and 6-1 when your loss was Week 1 and you've been dominant since. To me, is the exact same thing. I don't know about you. So
according to Tim, you win 1 game in a row and you're on a heater. It's all the same.
So I think these teams are so equal. I think the Saints' schedule has been tougher. I could argue when this line opened, and I thought it opened at 1. I thought that was disrespectful to the Saints. So I feel like it's kind of going back to where I think it should be. I think this game in the Dome, that place is going to be a hornet's nest. Everybody in that stadium will know it's for home field. I think it's going to be a great game. If I did throw myself down the stairs, I would be kind of upset home watching the Charger game that I wasn't able to sort of really focus on watching this game.
Like last week.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that Ram-Packer game because I'm fixated on the stupid Cardinals. It's such a frustrating game.
It was, because the Cardinals
watching
up by
that
30.
game was frustrating, but the ending, I guess, made it all
true. I'm telling you, Rosen turned a corner.
All worth it. Absolutely, maybe. I'm gonna ride New Orleans. I just think home field in this one is going to really matter.
I hope this game sucks and it's like 9-6.
I also want to say something.
I would play the under in this game, by the way. I don't think it's 9.5.
Question. I get it's a different dimension of your offense, and I understand when the Ravens do it with Lamar Jackson, but why are you taking Drew Brees off the field?
They're not taking him off the field. He is on the field.
I know, but he is your best player.
I know, but they like this Taysom Hill.
I understand it, but I don't get it.
Yeah, there were some situations.
The Patriots aren't taking Brady off the field to run James White Wildcat.
it's okay to give your QB one or two.
They really
But it's not one or two though. Like they're
they really like this guy.
Like 7, 8, 9 times a game.
I almost think last week's extent was to put it on tape.
Maybe so, and maybe that's a great
in
idea.
This big matchup,
Now you have
and
to prep
let's
for
like really make this awesome team
Great point.
focus a little bit more on this, because you're right. They've been doing it, but last week it felt like there was more of it, and certain situations that felt really key. It felt like there was more of it. I need to put into perspective that I was thinking about throwing myself down the stairs for a week 9 regular season game when my team is 5-2. So just as we go through the ladder, just know the things I would do.
You imagine what the Super Bowl would be?
Now, when you say the Super Bowl, do you mean that game that is played at the end of the football season, or that convention that you like to go to where you can try all those soups? I mean, you're a big soup fan, so I mean, it could be one or the other.
Of course, that actually would be cool to go to, like a soup convention. I'd go.
Can I just side plot something?
Sure.
When I went to Canton for LT's Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
You met Dean Spanos?
I did meet Dean, but I did also get to interact with the good Spanos, John, who's at every job in the organization. He's Dean's kid. He promised he would take care of me. He runs football ops, this great little nucleus, the hiring of the GM. He really is the focal point of all of it. He's, like I said, different than Dean. So I do trust this guy. And he follows me on Twitter.
Loves golf picks?
Yeah, I guess he likes the golf picks. And once in a while, I'll jump into his DMs. And sometimes when I'm angry, I'm tempted to, but I'm like, that's so dumb. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I never have. I never have. Trust me, I never have. He did love when I pointed out the McCoy Ellen thing in Canton, though. He laughed pretty hard. So after Mr. Spanos died, his grandfather a few weeks ago, I sent him a DM wishing him my condolences and how I kind of am a Chargers fan because of my grandfather, and I wishing him a good trip to London. And yesterday he finally got back to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's all.
Did he say they were going to win?
No, I don't know. He doesn't have any. He won't say something like that. It was just more like.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Geoff. I appreciate the kind words. My grandfather was a special man and will be missed. Hope you are well, and thanks again for reaching out. Go Bolts.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had a DM relationship with Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson.
Could you imagine? Oh my! What is he? The ambassador to France now?
No, he's the Court of St. James, United Kingdom.
Okay. So Tim would not only be sliding into Woody's DMs, Tim would send him for the amount of text that I get during a Jets game from Tim, that is basically fire Bowles, fire everyone, this team sucks, and then they'll get a pick, be like, this is the greatest thing of all time. I don't know how your heart takes it, man. How do you get that excited and then that down so quickly?
I live and die with my team. Can I tell you?
You need something else.
I felt naked on Sunday not having that pure adrenaline rush on the bye.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like your team playing.
I would say that there are many things much better than that.
Nothing
free climbing?
gets me.
Oh yeah, Tim said that he'd be pretty good at free climbing the other day. I can't believe you just brought that up. To shame yourself.
Well, because I didn't quite understand what free climbing was. I thought it was that. Thought when you climb indoors, you were free to climb wherever. I thought that's what free climbing was.
If people don't know what free climbing is, think about the cold open of Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise. Cust, yeah, I'd be great at that. I'm also not convinced you'd be good at indoor rock climbing either.
Well, I was in junior high.
Yeah, you were good with the kids running around. You're like Rick James taking the karate with the kids. Don't believe for a second that you can climb anything.
No feel it, Pat. I can't explain the feeling I have on third down. On either side of the ball.
I find it's
either
worse
side
on
of the ball.
Defense. It's worse on defense for me. I get more stressed on defense.
Listen, I know that there are many people, probably the majority of the people watching the show are like you guys. I just cannot connect that in my head. Why the fuck do I care?
I don't know.
You know what I root for? Pat Mayo.
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe it's my only childness, which really comes through in my personality, but I care about me. I don't give a shit what anyone else does. It doesn't affect me like that. Just seems awfully bizarre putting your emotions behind a collection of strangers. That's the weird leap for me.
Okay, I get that.
That's like, as a kid, you can root for a team.
No, I get
that.
it.
As an adult, that's why I don't care.
But I don't cheer for the strangers. I cheer for the uniform. And
which is an inanimate object, a uniform.
And the logo and what it represents.
What does it represent? The New York Jets represent fucking losing, is what they represent. They represent bad organization, shitty players, and sadness.
Chargers
That's what they
represent more horribleness, probably.
I would say, no, the Chargers are more just uniformly bad across the board. Like, they're not great, they're not bad, they're just kind of mediocre. Jets bad.
We have real high highs, but we have a lot more low lows.
So your biggest high happened a good, I want to say, 16 years before you were born.
Well, I would say making back-to-back title games is pretty good.
I mean, I think that speaks to the sadness of the situation.
Well, at least we don't hang banners for AFC finalists.
Who did that?
The Colts do that.
Oh, that's good for them. Probably because they had Peyton Manning, wanted to keep him around. The Jets don't do that because they don't care about keeping safe space in because he sucks.
That's bad.
What?
I had to process what that meant.
Hanging AFC championship banners?
Yeah, the Colts, after they lost to the Patriots in Deflategate, hung a banner that said AFC finalists.
Because I would argue, even making the Super Bowl now, I mean, obviously you all want to win it, but that's a huge...
It's like when I go to the ACC and there's Raptors Atlantic Division champions banners. Come on.
Well, those are the worst.
Come on.
But I think
that is the mark of a losing franchise.
I think if you make the Super Bowl, you can display something.
I cheer for a hockey team that only has room for Stanley Cup banners in the rafters. That's all they hang.
One of which has happened since Tim was born, and none of which have happened since he was 6.
2.
No, Tim's too young for that. He didn't get the 86.
Okay.
He only gets the 93 Canadians?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only one I saw live.
How have they been since?
They would have lost to the Leafs, too.
Ups and downs. Maybe not.
We're not going there. Sorry, I can't.
I think. I mean, we got to get you out of here. We got 2 games left.
Yeah, we're all right.
I was gonna.
We're not the ones slowing down production here.
That's what you guys.
No, I'm slowed things down, but I think I'm seeing the time. I think we're good.
All right, so Tim, I wanted to bring this up to you because I have 2 problems here. So we'll get to a little mini Cust corner here with Tim.
I got a lot of problems with you people,
and we're gonna air them out. You released this step-by-step guide to Halloween on Twitter.
I gave 17 hints or tips for people to maximize their Halloween. The EV lifestyle for Halloween.
Plus EV. I mean, by your metrics, you'd be minus EV. But why didn't you make it 31? Also, when you put the tweets together, why didn't you make it a thread? So people can click on one because you don't know how, do you?
No, that isn't the reason. It was because I knew I would come up with different ones through the day.
And you can add and then you can add to your thread.
You don't have to.
I didn't think you could add to your thread. I thought once you started, that was
You didn't even know a thread was a thing until it was pointed out to you by multiple people today, didn't you?
No, listen, I know what I'm doing.
It really does.
No, you don't.
Remember that time that there was impossible that his Zoom system to connect to the line would ever work. It's impossible. No one could figure out. What happened?
Wouldn't be able to fix it.
Yeah, no one would be able to fix it. You get an IT guy in here right now, couldn't fix it. What happened 10 minutes later? Oh, I just didn't click on it. You know what's up, don't you, Tim?
Yeah, listen, I wish... What I didn't know is that you could add to your thread later. I thought once you started with the thread, you had to finish it through, and then that was it. You couldn't add to it. If had I known that, I would have threaded it.
Why weren't there 31?
Because I didn't come up with 31. I came up with 17.
But,
I'm not picking an arbitrary number just because there's 31 days in October. I mean, I wasn't going to invent 13 more just to fill out the number. I gave out hints I wanted to give out.
All right, Geoff, let me run a few of these by you. Are you FaceTiming with your daughter?
No, I'm just
looking at pictures.
Getting fresh.
Okay. Tip number 1. Start Halloween morning with a big bowl of plain Icelandic yogurt mixed with candy corn.
I was already dead. I didn't know we were getting 30 freaking more.
Top cat number 2. White chocolate is better than dark chocolate, which is better than milk chocolate. I feel like that order is reversed.
No, these are facts.
Number 3. Always eat Kit Kats whole.
Weirdo.
I'm honest to God. Out of the 17 of these that you put out, did you get under 2.5 positive responses to any of them?
Over.
There was 1 or 2 he was, I think, right about.
Did they all come from the same guy?
No, the one that I wrote about complimenting people who put time and effort into their costumes, that was well received.
This guy said, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? Now, see, that's a very acceptable answer to stuff you tweet out.
My biggest takeaway was how he once again goes by a self-proclaimed nickname.
It's a
really
nickname
weird.
that many people have used.
No, people just call you Cust. That's your nickname.
Many people use it towards you, or people like other people use the nickname.
I guarantee you there are accounts on Twitter who will call me Top Cat if I ask.
That still doesn't change the fact it's a self-proclaimed nickname.
I thought my best tip was that you should get the fun size bars on Halloween because they're fun sized. And you have more variety with the little bars. It's like the little box.
Yeah, I agree. You got to eat like 3 or 4 different chocolate bars instead of one big
if
one.
If you get a can of
No,
pop in your trick-or-treating bag,
I like big ones. That means you're trick-or-treating in a safe area.
Okay, fine. Yes, I like the bigger chocolate bar, but I back Tim's theory on that.
This guy says, who is
If
Top
you get
Cat?
it
You
back.
can't give yourself a nickname.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
guy's on board. No one ever calls you Top Cat or ever will. Oh, this guy says, this is a good take, followed by shut your fucking mouth. So, I mean, you're batting 25% with that one, so that one's not bad. Candy apples may only acceptably be eaten on this day. Take advantage. Candy apples are fucking disgusting.
And
Tim
aren't
does?
the ones that get
Tim probably hides razors in his.
But I mean, isn't
candy
candy
apples.
apple like a very dangerous thing to get on Halloween?
Yeah,
like,
but
aren't you just better getting that like at the county fair?
Well,
or
no,
some
I'm
shit?
thinking about like making at home for yourself or your children. I'm not thinking about trick-or-treat.
Okay.
Deposit all Sour Patch Kids and Starburst, especially the yellow ones, directly into the trash.
the yellow ones. Except the yellow ones.
Except the yellow ones.
I hate his
Yeah,
sour
this
candy
take is god awful. That's
'Cause
bad.
I like sour candies.
Who doesn't like Sour Patch Kids besides Tim? That's horrible. Horrible. Any and all puns you can make about the holiday are appreciated by everyone. I can assure you that's not the case. This person said that, Tim, you need to be stopped. I would not say that these went over well. At all. I mean, they're in line with your like 5% approval rating. Try to compliment
the silent
people.
majority who didn't say it.
Try to compliment the people you see in costume who put in time and effort. They put in time and effort into having fun. A kind word goes a long way. I don't see you big upping my Jamiroquai costume.
Good point.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I mean, a kind word would go a long way, according to you.
Okay, I think your costume looks really nice.
Thank you. You got anything else nice to say about my costume?
No, stop trolling for more credit.
No. You're putting out this advice. You don't even follow it. When you were at work today, did you tell people they look nice?
Yes.
Did you really? What costumes were at your work today?
Not gonna say.
So there were none?
There were costumes. I like to, you should thank people. You should say to people if they have a nice costume, that is a nice costume. It makes all the difference to some.
I think Tim 13 makes you one of your weirder tips.
If you don't listen to Monster Mash at least once during the day, you're doing Halloween wrong. However, everything that you've said about Halloween means you're doing it wrong. So people can't do that anymore.
Is number 13 the tiger tail ice cream one?
No, it's the Monster Mash one. I just told it to you.
Oh, okay. Because that's one Geoff commented on earlier. Well, I mean, listen, the Monster Mash is the...
Oh, yeah, the
official
one, like, what, you're serving scoops of ice cream to trick-or-treaters, you freak?
Yeah, that is definitely...
No,
Here, kids, come into my freezer.
Oh, you just mean, like, family dinner? Like, it's a good
just
dessert?
a family dinner. It's the right Halloween treat because it's black and orange. And
No, because it's black licorice, so it's the wrong Halloween treat.
Black licorice is amazing and everybody loves it.
Peanut butter multicolored marshmallow squares are marvelous homemade Halloween treats. Can you make this, Tim? And why do you have Halloween treats? If you go out trick-or-treating and you get the candy, why are you making more stuff for yourself at home?
Well, sometimes you like to make stuff like that's homemade because you don't want to
Do
get...
you bring any of this
You don't
stuff
want to get a trick-or-treating.
to, like,
it's safe.
the Halloween party you attend?
Yes.
Tim's Halloween is sponsored by Extra Diabetes. According to this list.
Though, so
It's Halloween.
he's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of this is just your diet most of the year. Like popcorn balls are awesome. What the hell are popcorn balls? Do you know? Do you know popcorn balls? You mean popcorn?
Chocolate covered popcorn.
Chocolate covered popcorn?
I don't know what that is.
No, it's not chocolate covered.
No,
You people.
I have no idea what. Paul, do you know what these are? Popcorn balls?
No, nobody knows.
No one knows what these are. It was just like that random candy bar that he pointed out this one day that he called the best, and no one had ever heard of it. They made one at a production in 1983.
It's called a palamine.
This is the worst. This is what you did at work today. I'm just looking at it right now. 8 hours ago.
he works for the Canadian government.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess this is a highly useful. You were what?
I've been thinking about these tips for a while and wanted to bring them out on Halloween for the people to make people's Halloween happier.
Tip number 17. Don't carve political themes into your jack-o'-lanterns. Halloween doesn't need to be politicized. A scary face will do. Tim just doesn't want to walk around the neighborhood being triggered by things. I don't like what they have to say. I need my safe space. Oh, question from the audience. Hold on. We have a question from the audience. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank Tim for wasting my tax money by making lists.
Yeah, Paul would like to thank you for wasting his tax money for making these awful lists.
The list is great, and I hope that people will learn from them in order to have a happy Halloween. And these will come again the next major holiday. I can promise you that.
American Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah. There will be American Thanksgiving tips and then Christmas tips.
Have you ever been in America for Thanksgiving?
Once.
And this makes you qualified to give out your Thanksgiving tips?
Thanksgiving is not that different here and there.
It's pretty different. People take it seriously in America, where they don't here.
Oh, I appreciate that fact. It's it's multiplied by a factor of 10. I get that, but I have some great tips.
I doubt you do. They're probably just horrible food takes. You shouldn't eat turkey. You should eat something else. Tofu burgers or something.
Only the dark.
Classic Tim. This was a waste of fucking time. List just makes me mad.
Does he go trick or treating?
Of course he does.
Like what? By himself?
Yeah. He's a 32-year-old man walking
gonna walk
around
the
with a bag. Well, he just puts a mask on.
Tomorrow's the day for trick or treating because you go to the drugstore and get all the candy half price.
On his way to work, he's gonna stop at the store
and bring it into the office. He was telling us he has candy at his desk.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
He is, but his candy is so shit that no one ever takes it.
Right now, my jar is full of those molasses kisses.
Oh, please, people, go Google molasses kisses and read up on them.
Hey, Kerr was tweeting at me, the manufacturers.
Yeah, that's how little they have going on, that they're tweeting at you. And you didn't even get a button like our friend Sad Jamie.
I really wish I'd gotten a button. I would have worn it too.
Then he tried to claim that they were healthy.
They are healthy. Molasses is from raw sugar. It's not which is natural. It's not like...
Here's my raw sugar. People say raw sugar, over-processed sugar, very healthy. People say it all the time. I believe them. It's very healthy.
A little molasses is good for you.
Raw. No, it's not. You gotta stop saying things are healthy. Gotta stop doing that.
All right, molasses is good for you.
Now, is this just you, again, living your truth and you're having feelings over facts?
I don't live my truth. People
you
love
do.
molasses.
I think saying people, A, love molasses, and B, molasses is healthy for you, is you living your feelings and your truth instead of the truth and facts.
Well, that's your opinion, sir. I disagree.
Based on your feelings basis? Or
No,
based
not
on
based on-
facts? Because people don't
I know lots of people who eat molasses. There's a whole a sub aisle at the grocery store for molasses.
Okay, you almost just said, I know a lot of people that eat molasses. Then you stopped yourself and had to turn it into a thing of, well, they sell molasses, so it must be popular. Name me the people that eat molasses, please, in your life. Oh, wait.
When he goes for a walk at the mall and they stop at the drugstore, him and
Anybody
his
who's ever eaten baked beans?
Please, no. I said, please name the people in your life that eat molasses.
Well, I'm sure that all the people I know who eat baked beans, it's a classic and it's a staple. So I guess
the answer to this question is no one. You can't think of a single person that eats molasses.
I can't think of a person that doesn't eat homemade baked beans. Actually, I can think of a couple of people who don't.
I know. I would say the majority of people know, and the majority of people in the world don't eat homemade baked beans.
This is ridiculous.
This might be the worst take of all time.
I hear
this is
that
really
so often.
this is really verging on it.
I hear that so often it no longer has any effect.
Oh God.
So the answer is 0. You know 0 people that eat molasses.
No, I know lots of people.
Tell me the people. If you know lots of people say, so it has to be true. Tell me Trump. Tell me all the people.
No, I'm not going to list names. I don't need to do
Name one. Give me one.
my grandmother.
Okay, give me 2.
It almost explains enough.
Are we at lots of people yet? You and your grandma. Besides that, in your life.
Her friends.
Does he know that? Probably not.
Well, no, at the
He
church.
probably is in
we have
their
a big
bridge
beef
club.
supper at the church, and everyone there eats the molasses.
What's the average age of those people?
The parishioners, there's a variation of age of the parishioners.
What would you say the mean age is of these people?
I don't
of the
know.
parishioners.
I
Would you say if I set the over under at 72 and a half?
Oh, I would take the under.
What if I set it at 68 and a half?
That's getting about there.
Okay. So what's the largest demographic of people, Tim?
Baby boomers, so I guess
No, it's
ages.
not. No, it's
yeah,
ages.
by the numbers,
It's ages 19 to 49. That's
No,
where
not
that's where
not
a
even
vast
close.
yes, it is. What are you
It used to
talking
be the
about?
baby boomers are still the largest population group in the United States.
I mean, technically yes, but if you count people over age of 65 and people from 19 to 49, more people fall 19 to 49. And not every country has baby boomers, Tim. I hate to tell you.
Talking about North America.
Oh, well, now you're changing your argument about people who eat molasses. But anyway, no one eats molasses. You know, one person is your grandma. That's it.
Yeah, they have they have like a sub aisle full of molasses at the grocery store. Nobody eats it. It's just there for decoration, I guess.
Have you ever seen it sold out? Although, how about when we say, hey, all that Diet Coke is sold out from the beginning? It's like, oh yeah, well, people don't even want it. They're just taking it off the shelves.
Nobody wanted those flavored Diet Cokes, and Diet Coke Lime got canceled, and they didn't.
No, the Diet Coke line that got canceled was a really old Diet Coke can line. The new Diet Coke is it made the Coke stock go up. People love them.
No, it went up because it was a novelty, and now you don't see it anywhere, and nobody drinks it because the flavor.
People see it all the time. I walked into Shoppers. It's a giant display out front. That, by your logic, that means it's super popular. If they're putting it on display.
Probably just buy 2 for 1. So they're trying to get rid of the excess surplus.
But molasses, Geoff, very popular. This is where
Great on
we're at.
pancakes and French toast.
Oh my God.
Right.
Clean up your diet, pal. That's all I'll say. When you're here with me, you're not allowed to eat out. I'm serving you food the entire time.
I'll go out with you,
I'm
Tim.
putting you on a 3-day keto. How about that?
I don't know what those words
Oh,
mean.
You don't get
God.
carbs. You don't get carbs
that's
for
not,
3
that's
days.
not healthy.
I mean, if that's not healthy, and what you're just describing is also tremendously not healthy, what's the difference?
No, I'm not trying to claim I'm living the Jack LaLanne lifestyle here.
All right. Green Bay, New England. Back to this. We got 2 games left. You shouldn't have said you had extra time. New England is 5.5-point favorites at home. This opened at 6.5. It's down to 5.5. 56.5 is the over/under. I think this is influenced by what we saw last week. This line should be higher, I think. Green Bay's not good.
They're really
I
not.
don't
not
agree
good.
with you there.
They're not good.
They are good.
I'm taking New England.
I'm gonna copycat you there. I don't think Green Bay is good. I think this is a game they can get exposed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised their run defense looked as good as it did last week against the Rams. That really did stun me, but I just don't know if...
I think that's a loss that can linger. I think it really can, even though they got rid of the guy.
Yeah, New England at home, primetime, 5.5, and just I don't think Green Bay's good. Their defense is awful.
I also think Aaron Rodgers probably walked around is still up until tomorrow is still sad sacking about Sunday, and I don't think that's a good thing going into.
I have a
Patriots.
feeling Aaron Rodgers is a lot like me. I don't think he cares that much. I just think he likes his millions and millions of dollars, and he just moves on. He seems to have a very short memory. That's the way that he strikes me. No,
I completely disagree with that,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. I think if you're in the mainstream media and you say something against him, I guarantee you that shit's filed and he's very spiteful about it.
It really doesn't seem like he gives a shit about anything.
I disagree.
Well,
I
I think
he
he's got a
cares.
very thin skin.
Yeah, I think his thin is so skin that he tries to overcompensate with the
I agree.
perception that you pick out.
Why?
But I see the thin skin.
Where do you
I
see,
think that's all
where
a
do you see it though?
manufactured.
I don't know. Every year
What would
he's
lead
always-
you to? What have you ever seen that would lead you to believe that?
I don't know. He's always just very quick and lippy, and his patience is very low, in my opinion.
So
Okay, that's just an
you
opinion.
can have short patience because you don't want to have to deal with shit.
I get
You're just
it.
Like let's move on. I don't care about this shit. Let's move on to the next thing. So I think that he's very calm in that way. Like we told people to relax.
Yeah,
He's
fair.
he's relaxed.
I think the Patriots.
I like the Patriots -5. The coin likes Green Bay. Tim, you're going to pick against New England, I'm assuming.
I am. I've picked New England many times this year.
Trying to curse them.
No, I just think that, listen, the Patriots just got into a really physical matchup where they had to go 4 quarters on a short week against the Packers. I mean, you can say the QB is a draw at best. You can pick one side or the other to favor. I think it's a draw at best.
I will give you that Rodgers is a better quarterback, but I think that is the only spot on the field where Green Bay has an advantage.
Gronk does not look right.
Sure. And then you got Jimmy Graham, who's also washed on the other side.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, looking at the Patriots offense, it's James White, and then it's Brady, White, and I guess Edelman when he's not being dirty and should be suspended. I mean, other than that, it's about, like, the Patriots offense doesn't have much. And we saw it against Buffalo that it just didn't click. I don't know. For the Patriots to cover this game, they're going to have to score the way they did against the Chiefs. Now, if you believe, as I do, that they're not able to replicate that performance 2 times in 3 weeks or 2 times in 4 weeks, I think the Patriots are going to win by a field goal. I think the Packers are going to cover the number.
I actually would argue that the Bills, outside of quarterback and receiving core, are probably more talented than the Packers.
I don't know.
Coach.
Sure.
That's the big discrepancy in this game. Belichick hasn't been Belichick probably for a year and a half now, but he's no Mike McCarthy.
Oh, no. The
They would
Packers
be
are
better
very
off with
important.
fucking Melissa McCarthy as their coach because he is fucking terrible.
You will get no argument from me. I think McCarthy is the most overrated coach in the NFL. And
That's who should coach Cleveland. He has a match made in heaven for Cleveland.
Oh, that's been an early rumor.
Perfect.
A lot
Get
of
him. Here you go. Take him.
a lot's been made about the final 52 seconds and how
We'll package a first-round pick with Mike McCarthy
I
in
think
Cleveland.
Howard really went on it, but how the 52 seconds at the end of the game, how polarizing it was from one team to the other, how he doesn't take the knee like being asked. Well, Todd Gurley in a city of superstars, on a team of superstars, there's just different sort of tones there. And, I think Coward went on to say, which I don't agree with him all the time, but I do agree with this. I think it's undeniable. Any owner with a clue, a lot of coaches are going to get fired because of what Sean McVay is doing.
As they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it just seems like if you're like sort of following what's going on here, a lot of guys, and McCarthy, I think, could fall in that act, especially if they don't make the postseason. This might be my super lock, the Monday Nighter.
Really?
Yeah.
The Monday Nighter?
Yeah.
Tennessee at Dallas, 6.5. I love Tennessee in this game.
That's my super.
I'm guessing you're liking Dallas?
No, I'm liking
You like
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And we've been on the same super lock 2 straight weeks, so I wonder if that might be your thing. I'll be quick. I sort of just like the Chargers. They got to 6.5 points. I think it's too many. I think these two teams play a very fundamentally similar style. I think Tennessee matches up well with what Dallas's strengths are. I think this is a game where both teams can sort of have the ball and go on 7-minute field goal drives. I just think it's way too many points. And this early line on this game, Pat, was 4.5. It's up to 6.5. Why? Neither team played last week because of a Murray Cooper trade. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, Dallas is probably overall the better
And they might even
team.
win the game, but 6.5. I'm going to take the 6.5, much like the Tennessee Chargers. The Titans outplayed the Chargers, at least in the second half.
I mean, the defense lean goes to Dallas. The offenses are both bad.
Dallas's premier win against Jacksonville looks like worse and worse by the week.
And also, I think that the bye week will help Mariota.
Probably.
He's been hurt all year long. Just give him some rest. Maybe the nerves in his hand have calmed down a little bit. Maybe the guy can throw a ball again. But yeah, it's too many points. 6.5. It probably goes up to 7 because people will bet Dallas in primetime. I like Tennessee.
I like the Cowboys.
So does the coin.
I think that the Titans have no offensive skill. I think that they're going to get. Dallas is a really, really good defense. I think Tennessee is going to struggle to get to 17. I think Dallas can do better than that. I think Mariota is going to have a terrible performance against that defense and that front from the Cowboys are getting stronger and stronger. Washington loses this week, as I think they're going to, and Philly idle. I mean, the Cowboys to win this game will put themselves right there in the thick of it to be a playoff team. With
They're
their
not
defense.
a playoff team. They're not good.
No, they are good.
No,
They're not great.
They're not good.
They're undoubtedly they're a good team because they're really, really good on one side of the ball.
Sure, but in order for them to make the playoffs, they need to leapfrog both Washington and Philly. That ain't happening.
They have 3 games left against those 2 teams. It's all in front of them.
2 of them are against the Eagles, so those are losses because Philly's way better.
We'll see about that. And the other is Washington on Thanksgiving. I think that favor the Cowboys there. They usually do well at home in the playoffs or in Thanksgiving. Either which way,
I don't know if that's true.
Historically, if you take a look at,
I feel like 2 of the last 3 years they've got absolutely beat down.
Well, yeah, but if you take a look at a larger sample,
Wait, the
size,
Chargers missed like extra kicks, like they had their punter kicking.
Yeah,
I know.
Carolina absolutely waxed them like 3 years ago. I want to say
the quarterback got hurt on like the 4th play of the game.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Yeah, that's a separate section. I'm going to stand on the side that I think Dallas is a good team. I never believed in this Titans team. I still don't. I think Dallas wins it by 10.
Dallas by 10. So you're teasing them, obviously.
No, I'm not going to tease them. I've already got 5 teams. We're not making a 6-teamer.
Why not? I mean, you basically just called it free money.
And then if you're still
I
alive, you could take it to Monday and like try to middle it.
Yeah.
No, this happened last year.
No, it didn't.
A couple of times when you guys.
When you said a team was getting shut out, we convinced you that if you don't think a team's going to score 0 points, how can you leave it off your teaser?
I am not.
We're just giving you that. We're just pointing out your logic to help you. It's not our fault it lost.
I'll just happily take it as an extra win against you guys in the contest.
So super locks for the week. Again, I am the one thing I am leading this year. The most important thing, best bets of the week. That would be me. Tim, last place. Let's not forget. So Tim, since you're in worst place, you can lead this off.
Falcons plus 1.5.
Oh,
I like
tempted
that.
to go the other way.
Jeff, you like Tennessee plus 6.5 Monday night?
Tennessee, Baltimore, Carolina are on my short list. Let's go with Tennessee on Monday. Les Titans.
Plus 6.5 Titans. If I could lock in over-unders, I would lock in that over in the Denver-Houston game. That is my single favorite bet of the week. However, I will take...
Baltimore?
I like Detroit plus 4 on the road. I think that they win outright or lose by a field goal.
That is Detroit.
1 week's not going to deter me from them. They've been good against the spread this year. They've been very good to me. Tim, recap your free money, please.
Absolutely. 7-point teaser. Falcons. Steelers. Seahawks. Chargers. Rams. And Chiefs. That's my 5.
So Atlanta 8.5, Kansas City plus 2, Pittsburgh plus 10. Sorry, Kansas City minus 2.
Yes.
The Chargers plus 9, LA Rams plus 8.5. And we've already decided, yeah, it's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, those 5.
Plus 9.5 for the Chargers. Or is it?
Yeah.
9.
Plus 9, sorry, I was looking at the screen. It was plus 1.5 because it had moved, but we have 2 on here, so 2 is what we'll go with. And Pittsburgh is the one that fucks him. Because he could basically call it free money already. That's the free money part of the free money teaser is Pittsburgh plus 10. So that's got to be the loser right there. Unless, Tim, you can go back to back.
Those AFC North games feel pretty safe, though. 10 points.
They wasn't last time. These 2 teams played like 3 weeks ago. In Pittsburgh.
Different Pittsburgh team.
Different Pittsburgh team.
They weren't playing as well.
A lot of different players.
I don't
on
know.
That team.
I don't see them losing that because that back door would be alive. I don't know.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh doesn't get backdoors if they're playing like D-style Pittsburgh.
Yeah, okay.
They lose by like 40.
You're
when
right.
They don't play well.
That's fair. That's Pittsburgh.
I feel like you're going to know this one real early. Who's going to win? Anyway, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I would like to thank Tim Undercust.
Tim and Cust.
That is not my name.
For his awful Halloween tips. Have yourself a better Halloween by just doing the opposite. Or to show up to Tim's house and egg him if that stuff comes through. Good God. How often do you get egged just walking down the street, not on Halloween?
Never.
Never.
That's You don't become the tribune of the people by being egged.
I don't know. If it was me growing up, or even if I was like you and still trick-or-treated at an advanced age, then I'd probably egg your house, or at least teepee it.
Nope. I walk around and people say, "Hey, Top Cat, what's up?"
This is why people would egg your house. Geoff Fienberg. Follow him on Twitter at GFienberg17. You can find the cheat sheet up on Facebook.com or in the description. Please give the episode a like. Leave your Draftkings handle for a chance to get in a draw for 20 DK dollars. Tell me which team you think will score the most points in Week 9. Plus, sub to the podcast. Please, that race for 10 million listens/downloads. I can't believe more than 5 fucking people listen to this, but hey, people enjoy this show in particular, the flagship show of the Pat Mayo Experience. Who would have thought? Thanks for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!